Dear President Alexander Stew, today is the first day of January 2025. I chose it symbolic for me to address you, to address your conscience and the conscience of your nation. Firstly, I wholeheartedly and humbly congratulate you on your well deserved election as the President of Finland and also a representative of a great nation respected and reputed for its solid dedication to human rights, democracy, and justice. As I always tell politicians who contested and won elective offices, you are in a very familiar terrain, and I am not skeptical you will uphold Finland's adherence to the principles of freedom, democracy, equality, justice, rule of law, security, and the concept of collective responsibility. These are not mere ideals for me, but the very plains upon the world knows that Finland stands on the global stage. Having said so, Mr. President Alexander Stew, there is a case the world is watching that is before you. The manner in which your government will handle the case of your patriotic citizen, Simon Ekpa, will be a litmus test, as it is usually said, for Finland's adherence to those principles and philosophies I mentioned. The ball is in your court and it is up to you, and history is also there for you. I want to let you know, Mr. President, that Simon Ekpa, like Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, have both not committed any crime known by any conscience of any law on the surface of the earth. There is no crime at all whatsoever both of them have committed. And both of them have been vocal advocates for the Biafran people, their own people, whom you know very well have been subjected to what any human being with conscience would perceive as a continuing genocide by the Nigerian government, which began since 1967 till date. So I do not see any crime committed by any of these people for standing up for their people. I do not see. Your own nation too fought Russia tooth and nail, to become independent or a sovereign state today. So you should know what I am talking about here. Dear President Alexander Stew, you know that in 1914, the British subjected the various independent nations of the South and North in the nomenclature of amalgamation, and then went ahead through the bloody independence of 1960. There is nowhere on the surface of this earth, I repeat, there is nowhere on the surface of this earth where independent nations, as you can see in ours, are lumped together like that to become one nation without taking into cognizance the people's historical, cultural, traditional, and linguistic affiliations. It does not happen anywhere at all. Even the founding fathers, so-called, of Nigeria acknowledge this distinctiveness of the people. Having said so, I want to let you know, Mr. President, that evidence, so much evidence abounds of state-sponsored killings of Biafrans in Nigeria. You see, since 1940s, it happened also 50s, 60s was the general massacre, the genocide. Up till today, it is still happening. You are also aware of the extraordinary rendition of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, followed by his torture and unlawful detention up till today, which is a violation of his rights, known in the eyes of any law on the surface of the earth. The world is silent while all of these things are happening to the Biafrans. And I have to thank those with conscience who are equally speaking up. For the sake of time, Mr. President, I want to remind you that history bears witness to Finland's humanitarian aid during the bloody civil war. So I know that you will not divert from what the support Finland gave Biafra. You knew all of that very, very well. Therefore, at this time, the Biafran people turn their eyes to the direction of Finland, not for any aid, but to stand against the violation of the UN Charter on Self-Determination. That is what we want from Finland today. To stand up to defend the UN Charter on Self-Determination, which is what the Biafran people actually want. We are not calling for any war. We do not want people to die. We want to be on our own, and we want to follow the legal processes that Nigeria, under the UN Charter, is a signatory to. Having said so, in fact, the environment of fear and oppression is what propelled both Mazi Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to act legally and morally in defense of their own people who are daily confronting existential threats without criminal, with impunity on the part of Nigeria. Mazi Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, without criminal intent whatsoever, are merely standing up for their people. I want to let you know that the International Society for Civil Liberties Rights have released very many damning reports of human rights abuses in the eastern Nigeria. It is what the world knows, everybody knows about. According to the reports, we are told that over 32,000 unarmed civilians have been killed by security agents between August 20 and December 2024. Mr. President, you are fully aware of the reports. And we are told of the 32,000 people killed, understand, 22,500 of them were secretly executed, while 9,500 of them were openly killed. That is what is happening in Biafra land. Not also that, there are checkpoints everywhere where the people are being subjected to all kinds of extortions. A lot of things are happening in Nigeria. And that is why we are bringing this to the notice of the world, to the conscience of the world. Mr. President, in conclusion, I must say that we implore you to uphold the integrity and core values of Finland. This is what we are looking up to from you. I thank you very much. I wish you a very, satisfactory, happy New Year, and also all the good people of Finland. I also thank all the Biafrans who are standing up for their people and the friends of Biafra. I thank all the human beings with conscience who are speaking in defense of Biafra. I salute all of you. God bless you all, and God spare your life. Thank you very much.